Hello everyone and welcome back for another build video here on my channel. Today I'm building in Oasis Springs on the Vista Quarry lot. Doing, I guess, a somewhat modern Adobe home. I don't necessarily know that it's modern, but it's more modern than I would usually do. This one's not a starter home. I think it came out to be around 70,000-80,000 simoleons, something like that. And it's also not pack limited. I considered that again, but I just wanted to build this time. I did pack limited last time, base game only, and I just wanted to be able to build this how I envisioned it. Or I did follow a picture online again. I always do for the outside. Typically I have a hard time just coming up with something on my own for the outside. And the only windows I really felt were similar to the picture were the horse ranch windows. So I decided just to do all the packs. Not all of them, but not limit myself. So here I am searching through all the windows and finally just deciding I'm gonna do the horse ranch windows. They are kind of smaller than what I wanted, but I do end up putting some like decorative pieces on the outside to take up some of the space and match the photo. So it ends up working out, I think, in the end. Setting up the roof here, I forgot to put roof paint on, but I do that off camera. There is gravel up on the roof now, and I'm just putting some plaster on the outside, keeping it very simple on the outside. I do end up using a lot of the Desert Luxe kit. It just works really well. I feel in Oasis Springs in this style of build, and I do just really like that kit. I also used, I think, quite a bit of the Modern Luxe kit. I've really been liking that kit. I wasn't sure when I first got it how much I would use it, but I have used it a lot. I'm trying to fill up this awkward empty space on the wall. So I didn't want to put any more windows. I feel like it'd be too much. And then I messed around with these awnings forever, because the picture had an awning just like the Modern Luxe one, or the Desert Luxe one, but it just could not get it to fit correctly there. And then I tried working with this base game one. None of them fit correctly. But I messed around with it for a while. I tried, it just didn't work. And eventually I do decide just to like make my own out of that like really short wooden fence that I believe is base game. I thought maybe I could, but there's just it's just a tiny bit too small. So, and at this point I don't think I had the tool mod in my game. I have it now. I'm trying to make it to figure it out. It's kind of complicated, but okay. And then here I just decided to build my own little awning out of this fence. At first I wanted to do diagonal, but it wouldn't allow me to do that for some reason, going back across the other way. And so I just decided to do it straight up and down, or yeah, and then sideways, which I thought looked nice anyway. And then just putting back those walls that got deleted, and then I'm gonna go ahead and look for some columns, I believe. Or no, I'm putting lights up because I always forget them if I don't do them right away. And now we're moving on to some columns. Trying to match the columns to this fencing I used for the awning was not easy. None of them really matched. I kind of just had to settle for the closest I could find, which definitely was not a perfect match, but this was the best I could do. Saving. And from here I went ahead and put these little, I think they call them mega wall hunks in the game. These little wooden pieces, they were in the picture and they fill up that space from the windows being too small as well. I didn't end up putting two windows there. It looked too cluttered. I just had a hard time trying to get these spaced right. They just kind of looked strange, but I do like the way they look, so I just left them. I made the half walls for the roof a little taller, because yeah, that made it even out a lot better. I thought it looked better that way. Putting some lights there, so trying to fill up that space. putting on some trim around this little awning to kind of tie it all together. Once again, having to just find the best match I can because nothing matched that well. This reddish brown, there's just nothing that matches it. Trying again to find a better matching column. Oh, these are the ones I ended up going with. I thought they matched a little better. Putting on a thicker trim. And I end up, oh, that's right, I changed the color of all the windows in the door to kind of lighten it up a bit. Get it to match a little better with what I had going on with the awning. Trying to switch it up with the landscaping. Took me a while to figure this out because I decided I wasn't going to do my go-to, what I do for every build. It doesn't really fit in Oasis Springs, what I would usually do. So I'm trying to play around with the cactuses and these different bushes. And eventually I decided to just kind of go, not with the same plants, but with a similar layout to the garden in the picture I was following. And I did, I'm sure, end up using those purple bushes I use constantly. Because those pretty much are in every world. I tried using these different plants from Jungle Adventure. I really like those as well. And also I was trying to get to use these romantic garden stuff. Flowers, they're so pretty. But I was having a hard time getting them to fit in this world. I've never been able to use them. I just got this pack when they put it out for free. I just had a hard time with them, but I don't think I ended up using them. If I remember correctly, I think I put them back. I really loved the way this looked, but it just didn't fit in this world. So I tried to find something that would be more fitting for Oasis Springs. I went for a more, I guess, polished look, less cluttery landscaping. And then oh, that's right, I decided to do this little fence down on the ground too, to kind of keep it looking more neat. I'm trying to find something that's going to match and go together. I just had a hard time, but I think this is what I settled on. No, maybe not. I do end up doing like the sand in these little gardening plots, and then I do pavement out all around the rest of the house. Because I don't know, the grass felt out of place to me. I don't know why. I didn't like the way there was just grass in the yard. There wasn't in the picture, that's probably why. These just felt too short. And when I sized them up, they glitched through the wall, so I ended up changing this also. Just some more cactuses. I wanted to get some use out of the cactuses. I never use them. And out of these ferns and these other flowers that I just never touch. I think I ended up getting to use the Jungle Adventure plants here in this little area. I tried using the horse ranch flowers. They're just kind of an awkward shape to put in there. And then this is, yeah, I did end up using those Jungle Adventure flowers that I really like. And one of my go-to purple bushes. Now I'm going to put down the pavement I was talking about. Just, at first I was just going to do a walkway, and then I don't know, I just felt like it needed to have all of it like that. That's how it was in the picture, and it just felt more fitting for Oasis Springs to me. So I'm trying to build another little garden plot, trying to get it to be a size that didn't look funny. I'm just putting some trees in here, of course, some of my those purple bushes I love, the yellow flowers I use all the time. This one had more of my typical landscaping in there, but I also threw in some other things, some ferns, some cactuses, some little flower bushes, and then filled it up with sand. And from here, I went through and added a darker sand color underneath all of the plants, just to give it some dimension. Make them look a little bit more realistic. And I think I did it all along the edge of the house too, yeah. And then putting back the mailbox, trying to figure out where that would look nice. Oh, and then I went into these Modern Luxe benches out front that I never get to use, but I really like. And then I sized down that little end table because it's just way too big. And put it at the end, obviously. And then I had a hard time deciding if I wanted 2 benches or 1 because it just, I don't know, it looked kind of cramped, but it also looked empty with 1. So I just went with 2. And I just hated the way that empty spot up above that second bench looked, but I never really found anything that was able to fit there, so it just is kind of empty. Figuring out the floor plan, this ended up being a 2-bed, 1-bath house, I believe. And I left 1 bedroom empty just to kind of, I usually like to leave 1 empty so I can make a nursery or whatever I'm wanting for whatever family I'm playing with. I didn't have a family in mind for this house, so I just left it empty. Fenced in the backyard. Trying to find a fence that worked, and I just decided to do half walls instead. With some plaster just to match the rest of the house. Changing the roof trim to match the fence. Put a little back door there on the dining room. Putting windows in the rest of the house now that I know the layout. And I tried to also use some different windows from Horse Ranch, but I don't know. These smaller ones just were the only ones that looked right to me. Then I decided to kind of delete some of that pavement and make this slightly smaller. It just felt too much for me, and I moved the garbage in the back. Oh, and then here's putting in the dirt around the house to also give that some dimension. I didn't do sand around. I just decided to do the dirt and the grass and leave it like that. And then putting in another little garden plot in the back to kind of fill up some space back there. There was quite a lot of space in the back, so I needed to take some of it up using the Horse Ranch flowers and this little tree that I never use, but I really do like. I think it's interesting, but it just never fits in any of my builds, so I decided to give it a shot here and throwing in some cactuses with it. So I noticed these Horse Ranch flowers are just around in the Oasis Springs world, so I'm guessing they were originally in here. Maybe they're in Debug, I don't know, but I know they came with Horse Ranch and they're also in Oasis Springs, so that's why I decided on those. Giving them a little pool in back. I don't often put pools in my builds because I don't use them. But in Oasis Springs, I feel like it fits. Especially in a more expensive home like this, I felt like it needed it. Using more of the Desert Luxe kit, because like I said, I love using that, especially in Oasis Springs. Trying to fit a bar, and I don't think I ended up leaving the bar. Maybe I did. Putting in some loungers and a table from Desert Luxe. Yeah, I got rid of the bar. It just didn't fit right to me. Leaving the grill though and just switching it around a bit. And trying to find some decoration for the pool. I didn't end up doing much with it. I just did some lights and a little vent. And then I did a ladder and a diving board. I didn't end up putting anything decorative in the bottom. I decided to put these candles on the table, though. I love those little candles. And I guess I switched it around again. I had a hard time finding a place where that grill looked right, but this was the best layout I could come up with. And then I'm putting down a little table and chairs just to go with the grill. A place to sit and eat. Fiddled around with the swatches with these for a while, and then I moved this back a little bit so that I could fit this table and chairs in. And I just went with the plain chairs instead of the ones with the cushions. I thought they looked a little bit neater. Putting all this back in that I had before. I think I changed it up a little bit. The only thing I left the same was the tree. That's really what I wanted to use in there, was the tree. So, and then I'm just putting in some darker sand again. trying to find the perfect spot for that table, and that was the best I could find. Putting in these lights also from Desert Lux, which I use a lot as well, and these other lights that I just use all the time. Those are my favorite lights, the base game. My favorite base game lights, but possibly also my favorite lights in general. Archways, I went with these more interesting archways. I think they were Keystone archways is what they're called. I just thought they looked really pretty. I don't know. I never use them. I was trying to go out of my comfort zone in this build and use things that I never use. Trying to find a couch, because originally I wasn't going to go modern on the inside, and then I changed my mind and decided to go with, like I said, I don't even know that it's really modern, but it's from the Modern Lux kit, so I'm going with it. This is from the Desert Lux kit though, and I love that little TV stand from Jungle Adventure. I think it's so pretty. And then I did end up going with Modern Lux chairs. I'm pretty sure, because I tried to use the matching Desert Lux chairs, but they just don't seem like indoor chairs. I don't like the way they look indoors. So I went with the Modern Lux chairs, putting in a TV, the basics, coffee table. Finding a coffee table to match this, I had kind of a hard time with. I just went with a simple white one. And a rug, I also had a hard time with, I'm sure. I always do. Oh, I think I went with this Horse Ranch rug. And looking for a lamp to put in, trying to find a good place to put it. Because it just was kind of an awkward fit. But I ended up going with the Growing Together lamp. I went with the pink metal swatches for my furniture. I thought that I never use them once again, and I thought it looked kind of neat. Putting a plant on the table, just basic things, trying to fill up some space. And then I really wanted to use this record player that once again I never use, but I think it's so cute. So I was trying to find a little table to put that on. And I went with the Growing Together table once again. And I ended up putting it up against the wall in between the two archways. I did. I switched it to the Jungle Adventure table that matches the TV stand. As I also love that table. Putting a little hanging plant in the corner. Throwing some plants around. And then I decided to put in the wallpaper, and I kept the walls pretty simple in this house. I didn't go with anything too exciting. I wanted to keep it pretty neutral, pretty simple in here, and then have more interesting colors in the furniture, which I usually don't do. So once again, I was trying to change it up. And I looked around for a while for a painting to put up above here. And then I ended up deciding on doing a shelf. Because I have been trying to, once again, switch it up, and I've been trying to do shelves with clutter more often, because I love the way that looks. I just never have the patience to do it. But I decided to go for it this time, putting in some curtains over there. I think I ended up changing the swatch on those. And a desk with a computer. I was trying to figure out what would fit in this little nook, and then I decided it would be the perfect little space for a desk. That's what I went for. Putting a lamp, computer, a little notebook. And then I had to find, I'm pretty sure I put a rug here as well. It was kind of hard to find a rug that fits in this little awkward space. Oh, that's right. And then I put a little welcome mat in. I always like to put welcome mats in my builds. I went for the rent rug that I've really been liking a lot. I've gotten a lot of use out of that rug. Trying to fill up wall space. I always have a hard time with this. I don't know why. It just is hard for me. Then I decided to put a mirror over here. I just didn't want to do a ton of paintings and nothing else. So I went for a mirror. Changing the swatches on the curtains because I decided I didn't like the blue. Putting in a thermostat. And a shoe rack. I've been trying to put shoe racks in all of my builds now that the take off shoes thing with the shoe rack is base game. Putting in light switches, I've been trying to remember to do that as well. Putting them in all of the rooms. And by all the front and back doors. Saving, so I don't lose it. And then this is where I decide to switch it to a shelf, because I just wanted to switch it up a little bit. I really wanted to use this growing. I always want to use this. I don't think I've ever actually used it. It just is kind of an awkward size and shape. So I end up doing 2 of these little modern luxe shelves instead. And just throwing up a bunch of clutter. Just to change it up a bit. Putting some games up there. Just trying to make it look lived in, but also, like, I went for a more neat look in this house. I didn't want it quite as cluttered, but also want it to look lived in. I just always want my builds to feel lived in and cozy, so trying to find a balance. I wanted to size down this little cow plant planter, but you really, yeah, I guess it's a planter. Anyway, it doesn't work. His horns stick through the top. Oh, I did have the tool mod. I just didn't know how to use it, so I think I give up on it, but I don't know. I'm still having trouble with it. Sizing that back up once I realize his horns are sticking through the top. And then throwing up, I just tried so many different options and I had a hard time finding stuff that looked good together. I think I ended up deleting those books and plants and putting the games back up there maybe. Once again, trying to move something with tool. I'm pretty sure I gave up on that, yeah. Maybe this is what I went for. I think it is. Okay. I love this wood flooring. I use this one all the time. I don't know. I love the way it looks. It looks just so, I don't know, polished. Working on the dining room now. Trying to find a table that I like. There's not very many tables I like, honestly, in this game. Going with the growing together chairs that I never use, so I wanted to try them out. Putting in, once again, a basic wallpaper. Just trying to keep it simple on the walls. Same curtains. Desert Luxe curtains. I love those curtains. That one is not even, but I do end up fixing that later. Same Horse Ranch rug. I really do like that rug. Painting on the wall. I kept it more simple in here. The dining room is never really exciting to me. I just kind of throw something up. I did decide to change it to that desert painting. I thought it was more fitting. And then a little something to go in between here. It felt too empty to me, so I went with this little pear painting. It's the only one that really fit properly. And then just putting some plants, filling up the space in the corners. Going with, those are the growing together plants, I'm pretty sure. And then on to the kitchen. I did really end up liking the way this kitchen turned out. Starting off with the Jungle Adventure cabinets. And the growing together fridge and stove, I'm pretty sure is what I ended up going with. I just thought they looked really nice together. The handles, and so they don't really match that well, but I don't know, I still like the way it looked. Sink I messed with for a while. None of them really matched all that well. So I just kind of went with what looked best. Putting in the growing together stove and some upper cabinets. And I decided to go with the long one in the corner. I do that a lot. I just like the way it looks. Throwing in, oh that's right, I switched it out. I end up deleting that and going back though. I didn't like the way this looked. I put it back. That corner one, I don't know, the way it sticks out weirdly bugged me. So I end up just doing a normal island down the middle. First I didn't think this layout would work. I didn't think they'd be able to get in there, but I tested it and they could. Putting in the growing together bar stools. Or maybe no, I went with the Get Famous bar stools, that's right. I did go with tile in here, but I kept it fairly simple, I guess. It's not too exciting, but I wanted a little bit of tile in here. Basics, trash can, fire alarm. All of that, putting in the curtains, same curtains. Or no, I did change the curtains. I did the little growing together curtains in here. Stove hood. I did put a dishwasher in here. I don't typically put them in my builds, but like I said, I was trying to do something different in here. I put a coffee pot in. I'm probably going to regret that. I always am annoyed with Sims in the coffee pot, but oh well. Cluttering up the counters a little bit. Nothing too much. Some fruit bowls, paper towels. Trying to find something to put on the island. I went with that longer fruit dish. Decorations for the outside. That's always a must for me whenever I build. A little umbrella to cover this up, I thought. That would be a nice little touch. I never use that umbrella once again, so I decided to give it a shot. Changing the clutter in the corner here to this little, these vases from Eco Lifestyle, I'm pretty sure. And that little cake stand. Putting in a runner here, it looked kind of weird and empty, so. And then filling up the walls, trying to fill the wall space. Once again, I always struggle with, but I just kind of end up throwing something and going with it. Oh, I changed these plants, that's right, to, I think those are Jungle Adventure plants. Working on this little hallway, I didn't do much of anything in here. I just threw a little round rug in, and I think I did some plants as well. I'm pretty sure I went with the Modern Luxe rug. Maybe not, though. It looked kind of busy to me. I had a hard time finding a rug I liked here. I didn't really like any of them that much. And then I went back out here because I got frustrated. Put that little basket down to fill up some space out there. Looked around for some different items to put in the corners of this hallway, but didn't love any of them, so I ended up just, going with some plants. I think I did the Modern Luxe kit plants. I think that's what I ended up settling on. Everything else was just a little bit too big and clunky to me. And those are pretty, the Modern Luxe plants are pretty small. So yeah, that's what I went with, these little Modern Luxe plants. And then switching out the rug again because didn't love any of them. I'm pretty sure I went with this Modern Luxe rug though. I think that was the one I felt fit the best, even though I don't love it. Going back for the bathroom, doing the tile again, putting down a tile floor as well. In here, just basic white tile. Putting in, the necessities, a toilet, shower. Switching around the floor plan because I wanted to do this little wall and put the toilet next to it. Decided to put in a little growing together wall lamp up above the toilet. It was dark in there by the toilet, so wall shelf. I love that little shelf. From, is it Tiny Living? I think so. Tiny Living or Eco Lifestyle. Same Jungle Adventure cabinets. Counters, I mean. And I did put laundry in here. If you don't like to play with laundry, then, you can delete it. But I do like to play with laundry. Don't know why, but I do. Putting in some mirrors up above. Just doing the full-length mirrors. Growing together hand towel. And I don't think I ended up putting any curtains on this window. It was just kind of an awkward, tiny little space, so I didn't bother. Bath rug. Cluttering up these counters a little bit to make it feel more lived in. And less empty and awkward. I went with that little basket and some towels because I didn't have any space to put bath towels on the wall, so I threw them on the counter. And going back through, putting in some basic, oh, those were glitching through the wall. I had to move them forward. Basic walls, once again. And then I went with the Modern Luxe bed because I really haven't used it, and I think it's a really pretty bed. And the Modern Luxe bedside cabinets. I think I went with the Modern Luxe lamps as well. Searching through these lamps for a while, I think I ended up going with some base game lamps, or maybe they're Discover University. At first I thought I wanted to do these growing together lamps, but I don't know, something about them I don't love. And moving on to a rug, which is always a struggle as well. I wanted to use this little circular one from Modern Luxe, but it just wasn't a great fit to me. I ended up going with this Get Famous rug. I'm pretty sure it's Get Famous. In this beige color. Now looking for a dresser, I went with the For Rent dresser and Modern Luxe mirror. Wanted to put in a little chair here as well from, I think that's Growing Together. Kind of fill up some space. This bedroom was a little bit bigger than I would usually do. Putting up some wall decor, and then I'm going to clutter up the dresser. I had a hard time finding a picture that fit well above here. Took me a while to... They all just kind of fit awkwardly. I think I ended up just going with that simple beach painting right there, and then cluttering up the little corner there. I did this horse ranch decoration. Moving around the rug to put down a little ottoman at the end, which I always forget about. I never have enough room for it in any of my other builds, so I went for it here. Putting in Modern Luxe bookshelf. I'm pretty sure that's the one I end up with, yeah. Fill up some of that wall space over there so I don't have to try to fill it with paintings. And then putting paintings on the rest. I think I end up going with Modern Luxe paintings here as well. I used a lot of the Modern Luxe kit, like I said. I really liked it in this build. I decided to, I'm pretty sure I got rid of those. Put in the Modern Luxe paintings. And then putting in curtains. Same curtains as the rest of the house. I kept the curtains the same throughout. Just to keep it simple. I usually do keep this curtain the same in my build. Just to kind of keep it cohesive. Okay, just switching up some swatches, moving stuff around, cluttering more, trying to make this room look finished and polished. Cluttering this up a bit using the Modern Luxe makeup bag. Oh, before I did that though, I put in this little Modern Luxe pillow. Trying to find a place for it. I decided on that chair. That was really the only spot it fit, and I wanted to use it. I've never used it. Putting in some clutter for the dresser. I ended up going with the makeup bag and a few other little pieces, some candles and plants, I believe. But that'll be all for this build, so I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It'll be on the gallery, SarellaSims, Vista Quarry build, and I hope to see you all in the next one.